Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from a throwaway account and it says, my 27 male, fiancé 29 female was accused by her friend / maid of honor 29 female of stepping out on me. My fiancé claims she's trying to sabotage our relationship. I'm lost and questioning everything. How do I move forward? And in case you're like me and you didn't know, stepping out is basically cheating according to Google. My 27 male relationship with my fiancé 29 female has kinda blown up. I never felt this unsure in our relationship. I'm in need of outside perspectives. For context, we're college sweethearts. For orientation, I was touring campus and she was my group's tour guide. That's how we met. She's my first love and best friend. Now we're in the height of wedding planning. About a couple of years ago, we had a rough patch with her shutting down and pushing me away. She wanted to take a break so she could find herself again. I don't believe in breaks. I wanted to work through it together, but her mind was made, so I agreed. We established boundaries for the break. We wouldn't see other people and we were to have checkups about where we were emotionally. The goal was to reinforce our foundation. The break was only a month. We bounced back stronger, but it's still a sore spot. The break was the most distant we'd ever been and the experience highlighted why I'm against it. Recently, my fiancé had a bad falling out with a mutual friend / maid of honor, 29 female, who I'll call Joss for clarity. Some nasty stuff was said and Joss accused my fiancé of being a bridezilla and an even worse friend. I hoped the rift between them would mend because they were close for a long time. They were like sisters, but my fiancé kicked Joss out of the wedding and uninvited her. The damage seemed to be done for both. The other day, Joss reached out to me and said that my fiancé wasn't being completely truthful. She revealed not only did my fiancé see other guys during the break, but also hooked up with someone on their annual girls trip. She gave the guy's name, but I don't know who he is. On the trip, my fiancé's group linked with another they clicked with. Joss said it was clear the guy had an eye for my fiancé, and eventually she and he began wandering off. My fiancé ignored Joss's attempts at talking her down. It was a lot to take in. My initial instinct was to shut Joss down. Up until this point, I trusted my fiancé fully, but I couldn't overlook how much Joss's account matched my doubts from back then. Like I said, we were the most distant during our break. It wasn't on my part. There were times she was AWOL on our checkups. During the girls' trip, that fell on our break. She went radio silent in a way she wasn't on previous trips. There was truth to linking up with another group because my fiancé told me about it. She's still casually in touch with some of them. Right after the trip, she was gung-ho on calling the break off, how it was a mistake and that she was in a better headspace. Josh claimed that this was part of their falling out. She was pushing my fiancé to come clean with me before the wedding. She felt I deserved to know and wished we would have said something sooner. I didn't say much. I was too numb to really feel anything. I initially didn't confront my fiancé. I was trying to process, but she could tell something was wrong and kept asking. When I did confront her, she was a whirlwind of emotions. She mostly ranted about Joss, but I told her this was a chance to tell her own story. She asked if I'd hear her out. I promised I would. She confessed to seeing other guys during the break, but claims nothing happened. She also denies ever hooking up with anyone on our trip. I asked her why Joss would tell the truth about her seeing other guys, which alone thoroughly broke our boundaries, but make up an elaborate lie about her cheating on the trip. She insists Joss is trying to sabotage our relationship. She said the other guys meant nothing and I'm the one she was in love with. It was like she wanted me to be grateful for choosing me. She promised to do anything to regain my trust. She said we're starting our lives together and I shouldn't let Joss come between us. I wasn't very receptive to her. We fought and I told her I needed to think. Ever since, she's been pouring on so much affection. She still swears she never hooked up with anyone on the girls' trip and that Joss is trying to sabotage. But I can't shake the possibility that Joss is telling the truth. All of this has blown up while we're in the middle of wedding planning. Invites already delivered, venue booked, catering being arranged, suits, dresses, everything. I feel so numb. I'm in love with my fiancée. She's my best friend. It feels so wrong to doubt her, but I'm questioning everything. Even myself. I don't know what to believe anymore. I feel like an idiot. How do I move forward myself and my relationship? Well, that's an absolutely rough situation, but I think it's one of these ones where you need to trust your gut. Your fiancé has already admitted to breaking your agreed boundaries during your air quotes break by seeing other guys. That's not nothing. Also, with everything else that was going on during the trip, the radio silence, which, it was all suspicious. And the former best friend willing to blow up years of friendship to warn you. It didn't feel like sabotage to me. It felt like someone who was feeling guilty and wanted you to know the truth. And also, there was love bombing at the end, which is a classic sign of everything, isn't it? Bluffcat says, and quotes, "We established boundaries for the break, we wouldn't see other people," and then says, "That's all you need to know. You established a boundary, she broke it. Whether she actually slept with someone or not, you need to decide if you can forgive that she's lied to you for years. Essentially, she withheld information in order to get back together with you and did not give you all the facts so that you could make an informed decision of whether or not that was something you wanted to do." Tropical Dragon says, "I'm afraid she'll eventually tell the truth that she did sleep with someone else, but it will be months after the wedding when your choices have a more serious impact." Wishing for a Rainy Day says, "I was prepared to call out the friend for being jealous, but after reading it all, I think she's telling the truth. I think your fiancé is trickling out the truth to you. She's only telling you what she thinks you will forgive. She's lied and then realized she had to tell you a little bit. She's been lying since you got back together. Contact the other woman that went on the trip and ask them as well. Check her phone for the messages between the group at that time and get tested." OP says, "I'm considering reaching out to the other women. I don't know how open they'd be about it. I get along with them, but they're more of my fiancé's friends and they've largely stayed out of the falling out." Not a Bear says, "Having been the Joss for friends myself. Meet up with Joss and have her get a friend or your fiancé on speaker. Someone that knows. Hear it for yourself. She was going to keep these seeing other guys part secret forever. I think Joss is telling the truth and your fiancé is full of shit." So it was roughly a week later that OP did come in with our update and says thank you to everyone who reached out. It helped give me, 27 male, much needed perspective. I wanted to give an update. I wanted a fuller picture before making a decision on anything with my fiancée, 29 female. I knew her friends and bridesmaids would be a lost cause. I get along with them, but they're more of my fiancé's friends and their group runs deep. They weren't going to talk at the expense of my fiancée. I asked Joss, 29 female, for more info and for evidence to her claims about my fiancé hooking up with someone on their girls' trip. She said my fiancé avoided talking about that particular trip, especially over text. Most of their arguments were in person, but she showed me text from shortly after the trip where my fiancé confirmed hooking up with the guy. She texted how it's in her rearview mirror, and she doesn't need a lecture about the past. She's focusing on the future. I knew the possibility and my fiancé already confessed to seeing other guys during our break, but I don't know. Seeing those texts made it real in a way it wasn't before. In the text she expressed regret, but it didn't make me feel better. I confronted my fiancée and I knew immediately by the look on her face. She came clean on everything. She thought Joss deleted the text. Around the break, we were having serious talks about marriage. She started worrying she was missing out on stuff her single friends were engaging in. During the break, she sought validation from other guys and fooled around with that guy on the girls' trip. In her own words, she had a temporary high when he chased her, but felt worse about herself post-hookup. She claims the break showed her what was important and that she wasn't missing out on anything. She was reassured we were right for each other. I hardly said anything to her. I mostly just listened. I was too numb for much else. She kept asking me to say something, but what was there for me to say? I felt her actions spoke enough for us both. She kept apologizing for stepping out. When I asked her why she wasn't upfront with me, she said she didn't want to lose me over her biggest mistake. Her position that Joss isn't being noble hasn't changed. I told her Joss's motive doesn't matter. The truth is the truth. She asked if I could find it in myself to move past this. She said she loves me and she's fully committed. I couldn't tell her what she wanted. I said it was best the wedding be put off and I needed space to sort my feelings. She was against postponing and proclaimed this didn't have to define us. And she's still the same woman I wanted to marry. She asked me not to give up on us. But the same way her mind was made about the break, my mind was made on postponing. It wasn't a choice. It wasn't so much a fight, more putting everything out there. She cried a lot. She rarely cries. It felt wrong to leave her crying. My first instinct was to comfort her, but I was too broken to fake it. I've been hurt before, but she hurt me in a way only she could. I know postponing the wedding is for the best. The reason why I didn't call it off entirely is because I'm way too much in my emotions right now. Hurt, anger, sadness, and somehow numbness. At all possible, I try to avoid making decisions lost in emotion. I need to clear my head. I was so sure of my course in our relationship. My fiancée was my partner in every sense. She was who I wanted to make a life with. Sometimes she'd act so superior about our relationship compared to those of her friends. I feel so stupid. She says she's still the same person I love, but the fact is, she had a secret life I knew nothing about. I'm trying my best to understand that, but I'm at a complete loss. I'm not sure if I can move past this. All the guests have been informed of the postponement. Some question why, but I've been vague. I'm just too embarrassed. I feel bad for the guests too. Some with limited means already booked flights and hotels and took time off work for our wedding. That's how far we were in the home stretch. In some ways, it doesn't feel like my life. We were just together, wedding planning and discussing the honeymoon. The honeymoon was a surprise destination for her, someplace she's always wanted to visit. Now we're here. I don't know where to go or what the future holds. Thanks to everyone again for the support. It means a lot. Ugh, dearie me, it just sounds like OP needs a clean break from all these people. It always feels like if I'm trying to put myself in OP's shoes, which I know is impossible to do, but like whenever I explain it, I always think of it like surrounded like fog and you can't see past it. But then when it lifts, I think things will be much clearer, but you just need to step away from these people from the time being. That bit where she was talking about, you know, she had a temporary high and she thought she was missing out, but then she was reassured that we were right for each other after she broke the boundaries that you discussed. Look, there's no coming back from that in my opinion, but Don't says she's the same person in her eyes, but not in yours, because you didn't know she was capable of treating you this way. Her stepping out when you're on a break is one thing. It may have been possible to overcome it, but her lying and gaslighting you is recent and is who she is. You cannot trust her to tell you the truth if she thinks a lie would serve her more. That's the kind of person she is, and has proven to be at least twice in this situation. Keep says 100% this. Hooking up with a guy on a break, even when promised not to, is one thing, but then continuing to lie about it as she plans a wedding with you and plans to lock you down for the rest of your life is fucked up. End of story. Let her go, bro. The success rate of the average marriage is pitiful as it is, and starting off with this much deception and drama and baggage is not likely to end well. Add to that, if you go through with all of this, whenever you look back at your actual wedding day, it'll be a source of anger for you because you'll think about all your poor family and friends that had to reschedule and potentially pay for extra flights and hotels. And they will all eventually realize why the wedding had to be rescheduled. And you will look at your lying wife and picture her blowing some dude on vacation. Ew. Lazim says, no, she's no longer the same woman you wanted to marry a month ago. Since then, you learned how easy it is for her to lie to you and how happily she can do that. She is no longer the same woman. She has a very dark side that you only see now. Say, those friends of her from the girls' trip, are they the same friends that she is still hanging out with today? And did they know about her only taking a break to hook up with guys? If yes, then she surrounded herself with friends who support her in making such decisions and support her lying to you about what she does. Those friends are all enemies of your possible relationship, enabling such behavior of your fiancé. You did the right decision to not make a final decision while high on emotions. You know all you need to know. Now take time for yourself, separate physically from your fiancé, and tell her not to contact you. You decide when you will talk again. For now, you need time to yourself to calm your emotions down, to let go of the woman that you thought she was, and to see her for who she actually is. Only when you see her for who she is, then make a decision about your future. Good thing is, this time it at least is an informed decision. Say, have you asked her if she at least got tested for STDs back then afterwards? Or had she not even cared about your health when she hooked up with a stranger? Opie says yeah, it's the same group of women, same group from college. They were aware of what she was up to during the break. And one final comment that replies and says, then cut all of them off. You'll be better off. You are the company you keep. You don't need to drag down your morals and your values to stay with someone who surrounds themselves with lying cheaters who gaslight you and make shit up. It'll initially suck, but you'll be better off in the long run. I'm so sorry you have to go through this. You can and will find better, but for now, take time for yourself. You have a lot of hurt to work through and move past. Your future starts now. But now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. It's a neighbor-related story from the Neighbors from Hell subreddit from Door, Not Yours, who says, my neighbor keeps trying to break into my apartment. So here's a fun little mystery from my building. Every single day, morning and evening, at 5 a.m. and again at 10 p.m., like clockwork, my neighbor tries to open my apartment door with the handle, like it's his. No key, just a firm jiggle of the handle before he realizes it's not opening and casually walks away. For context, I'm a 22-year-old woman living alone. He's probably in his 50s or 60s. Not super chatty, talks to himself a lot though, like full conversations alone. Also, and I swear I'm not making this up, when he leaves his own apartment, he closes the door, then rings his own doorbell. Every time. No one ever answers. I have so many questions. At first I thought, honest mistake, but the thing is, he's been living here longer than I have, so he should know which door is his, right? But we are now weeks into this daily routine. Sir, I promise you, this has never been your apartment. It wasn't yesterday, it won't be tomorrow, and yet he persists. Like maybe one day the stars will align and suddenly the door will open and he'll walk into a parallel universe or something. I've decided to slip a polite little note into his mailbox. Something friendly but clear, just to say, hey, please stop trying to open my door, thanks. Maybe that'll be the end of it. Or maybe he'll just start knocking for good measure. Who knows? I'm considering leaving a note on the door, a sign, something like, still not your door, champ, or just embrace the chaos and start waving through the peephole every time he tries. Has this happened to anyone else? Am I starring in someone's confused sitcom without knowing? Commenter says to OP, why are you leaving a note? Talk to the guy. OP replied saying maybe because I don't want to get assaulted in case he has bad intentions. I don't think that's the case, but you can never be 100% sure. So yeah, just protecting myself. I'd rather not end up murdered at 22. The commenter replies to OP then saying, then take a friend. Leaving notes for people is often seen as passive aggressive and pisses some people off no end. Hell, there are entire Reddit subs where people show the notes people leave on their door or cars and everyone laughs at them. Nah, for me, OP's totally right in that, and that comment was just missing the point entirely. A 50 to 60 year old dude trying a door handle twice daily for weeks isn't confusion, that's just concerning and I think would make anyone feel unsafe. The behavior is bizarre in itself and who knows, potentially threatening. And direct confrontation of any sort when you don't know how he's going to react isn't the safest first step. So OP is absolutely 100% correct to not approach that. And I think with any situation like this, with the advice that I've taken from like the many stories that we've covered is that, you know, document everything with date and times, informing the building management or landlord or whatever, and considering a doorbell camera or some sort of camera, and let people that you know, love and trust around you exactly what's happening. I kind of wonder if he's like trying all the door handles as he goes down as well. Not that it makes it any better, just curious, but OP comes in with an update and says, well, folks, we've had progress, maybe, sort of. Here's what happened. After my last post, I left a little note in my neighbor's mailbox. Friendly tone but clear message. I then proceeded to live my little quiet life until the next day when, plot twist, he knocks on my door. At the exact moment I hear knocking, I know it's him. Call it female intuition or whatever, so I open my door, I smile, say hi, like everything is alright. I'm a nice neighbor, you see. He asks me if I'm the one who put a note in his mailbox and then proceeds to tell me very insistently that it's not him. Not once, not twice, but multiple times, like a gaslighting remix on loop. I tell him I hear his door open and a few seconds later, my hand will wiggle. He smiles, shakes his head and says, nope, wasn't him. So I play it cool and drop a casual. It actually wakes up me and my boyfriend. Because hey, being a woman living alone next to a strange door enthusiast doesn't feel amazing. Still, he denies everything. So in the name of peace and survival, I smile. I'm the nice neighbor here, remember? Say I must have made a mistake and hope he doesn't mind. Really sorry for the trouble and close the door. I then proceed to check my locks. Not once, not twice. Honestly, I lost count. And just a quick note for those worried about my safety. I see you, protective internet strangers. Have 2 locks and a chain on the door and I never forget to lock it. I even check it multiple times a day when I'm home. We're staying safe and paranoid. The ultimate combo. Now here's the fun part. This morning for the first time in ages, no door handle rattle, which strongly suggests, yeah, it was him. Surprise! I'm really not. A miracle? Or maybe he really walked into a parallel universe. But my bet is, he just realized I knew what he was doing. But, because there's always one, around 4 AM, I heard him open and close his door, twice. Like full door theatrics. Open, close, lock, repeat. Not quietly. Not once. Twice. So, while he's no longer touching my door. Now, let's make a bet how long it will last. I'm taking guesses. He's still apparently living out some kind of nocturnal hallway ritual. Don't ask me why. The hallway spirits maybe? Or OCD, as many of you suggested. So yeah, we're celebrating small wins. For now, my door gets to rest in peace. Let's hope it stays that way. Let's all repeat it together. Some doors just aren't yours, buddy. Commenter says to OP, can you put a peephole camera on your door? Another commenter says, or a doorbell with a camera in it. Have one in a little mount that attaches to the door so it's quick to install and rental friendly. Marla says you have every right to feel safe and I wouldn't be happy either, but I would guess it's an obsessive or compulsive situation. Shouldn't be your problem to deal with, but maybe less threatening than a man trying to enter your home. Can you get a Ring camera? Another commenter says, I don't know. I have checking specific OCD. I have not once ever had the compulsion to check that a neighbor's door is locked. Personally, I think the answer is far more likely than a man is being a creep. Marla says, we don't know if they maybe walk down the halls and twist all the knobs. I really have no idea. But the fact that he rings his own doorbell when he leaves, opening and closing his own door multiple times, makes me think OCD. And Environmental says, it's possible he has OCD and is still being a creep. The fact that he vehemently denied it when confronted by OP, then all of a sudden the compulsion stopped to me points to creep. I've had plenty of people tell me to stop my compulsions or tell me they're stupid, and that's never stopped them. And I kind of just think for OP's safety point of view, a camera of some sort still needs to be installed. It just felt like she's being way too chill about that. The fact that he's denying it when you knew it's him and he came to your door to knock on the door was a bit weird for me. Definitely get those cameras up, but what do you guys make of this situation? What do you think's going on? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the story. Your love, your support, your time, it always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.